Level 1, the believer. You're 23 years old and your right hand is in the air and you mean every single word. You are swearing an oath in a building most people don't know exists, in a room with no windows, to protect a country you love with a certainty you will spend the rest of your life trying to get back. You grew up on the good guys. You believe there are good guys. You believe you are about to become one. They recruited you because you're smart and you're loyal and you can keep your mouth shut. And because somewhere in your file, someone wrote down the one thing they can't train into a person, you believe. You sign the papers. You can't tell your mother what you do now. You can't tell anyone. You drive home with a secret sitting in your chest that feels like a medal. The world splits cleanly into us and them, and you are us and us are the good guys. And the good guys do hard things so that soft people can sleep at night. You are so sure. You have never been more sure of anything in your life. You're 23 years old, and nobody warns you that certainty is the most dangerous thing they will ever hand you. Level 2, the trainee. You're 24. They send you to a place that doesn't appear on any map, with a name everyone uses out loud and nobody ever writes down. They teach you to lie for a living, and the terrible secret is that you are good at it. You learn to spot a tail in a shop window without turning your head. You learn to make a pass on a crowded street so clean that the man standing right beside you never sees the thing change hands. The thing change hands. You learn to build a second person out of nothing, a cover, a whole human being, a job and a hometown and a reason to be standing exactly where you're standing. And you learn to wear him so completely that you stop flinching when strangers call you a name that was never yours. They teach you that everything is a tool. A smile is a tool. A friendship is a tool. The truth is a tool used sparingly, kept sharp by almost never using it. You're good at this. You're better than good. The instructors, men who have done quiet, unspeakable things in faraway places, look at you and nod. And that nod is the best drug you have ever felt in your life. You're 24 and you are learning without ever once noticing it happen. That a person who can become anyone is a person who can lose track of who they actually are. Level 3, the case officer. You're 27 and you're in a city where you barely speak the language and you own it anyway. You work out of an embassy under a job title that is a lie everyone politely agrees to believe. Your real job is people. You find a man with access and a weakness, and you spend months quietly becoming the most understanding presence in his entire life. And then one night, over the third drink, you ask him for the thing, and he gives it to you, and he believes he gave it to you because you're friends. You recruit your first asset, and it feels like landing a plane in a storm. The intelligence you send home gets read by people whose names you'll never learn, in rooms you'll never enter. And for the first time, you feel the whole machine move because you pushed on it. You are inside the secret now. You know things the president knows, and your own brother never will. You walk through airports lit up with the private electricity of a man carrying something the crowd around him cannot see. You tell yourself the man you recruited is a grown adult who made his own choice. You try not to think too hard about what happens to him if he is ever caught. You're 27 and you are learning to not think too hard about things, and you are getting very, very good at it. Level 4, the hunter. You're 33 and the world has cracked in half. Everyone remembers exactly where they were standing. You were standing inside the building that is supposed to see it coming, and it didn't. And now there's only one mission and it has no end date and no edges. The gloves come off. Budgets you used to beg for appear overnight. The rules you trained on get quietly folded up and put in a drawer that nobody opens. You hunt. You spend a year and a half of your one life chasing a single man across borders, living on bad coffee and worse sleep. And the night the team finally takes him down, you are close enough to feel it in your teeth. You did that. You helped take a genuinely dangerous man off the board. And tonight, people who will never know your name are safer because of work you can never claim. You have never felt so useful, so right, so completely sure of your own side. This is the summit. Hold on to this feeling, because everything after this is the descent. You're 33, standing on a rooftop at dawn in a country you are not supposed to be in, absolutely certain you are still one of the good guys. It is the last time you will be certain of anything. Level 5, the line. You're 35, and they show you the rooms. Not all at once. It comes the way the worst things always come. In pieces, in paperwork. In a colleague describing a Tuesday in a flat, tired voice. There are methods now. There are men in the rooms doing things to other men, things with clean clinical names that were invented by lawyers, so that nobody ever has to say the real word out loud. You are told it works, you are told it's legal. You are told the people in the rooms are the worst human beings alive, and that what is done to them is simply the price of the safety you felt on that rooftop. And for a while you believe it, because believing it is so much easier than the alternative. And you have spent your entire career becoming an expert at not thinking too hard. But you have seen the real word with your own eyes now, and it turns out it has a smell, and the smell does not wash off. One ordinary night you catch yourself defending something inside your own head, that you know, you could never say out loud to your own daughter. That is the line. You didn't draw it. You just looked down one day and found you were standing on the wrong side of it. You're 35, and the certainty they handed you at 23 is gone, and there is nothing underneath it but a very long way down. Level 6, the ghost. You're 38 and you get out. You tell them it's family, it's burnout, it's anything at all except the truth. And they let you walk because men leave all the time and you've earned a clean exit. But you do not get to leave it behind. You carry it out with you. You stand at backyard barbecues with a paper plate going soft in your hand, while a man you've known for years calls the thing on the news a conspiracy, a fantasy, a slander against good people doing a hard job, and you say nothing. You say nothing because saying something is a crime. That is the part nobody warns you about. The truth is classified. The lie is allowed to walk around in broad daylight, on television, in the mouths of important men, and the only person in the entire country legally forbidden from correcting it is the one person who knows for a fact that it's a lie. You watch your own country be told a comfortable bedtime story about itself by men who know better, and you hold the real story in your mouth like a stone. And every single day that you don't spit it out, the stone gets a little heavier. You're 38. You are free, technically. You have never felt less free in your life. Level 7, the whistle. You're 42, and one ordinary day you simply stop carrying it. You don't plan to be a hero. You're not even sure that's the right word for this. A reporter asks you a question, the kind everyone has quietly agreed to answer with a careful, practiced nothing. And instead of the careful nothing, you tell the truth. You confirm out loud in your own voice the thing the important men have spent years calling a fantasy. You say the real word. You don't betray names that get people killed. You don't hand over the secrets that actually matter. You just refuse, finally, after all this time, to keep pretending the thing that happened didn't happen. And for one strange, bright moment, it works. People who agree on nothing agree that you were brave. Strangers shake your hand. You feel the stone finally leave your mouth, and you can breathe all the way down for the first time in years. And you let yourself believe, naively, beautifully, that the truth is going to be enough. That telling it was the hard part, and the hard part is over now. You're 42, and you have just made the single worst tactical mistake of your life. And it is also the only thing you have done in 20 years that you are completely sure was right. Both of those things are true. They are going to stay true forever. Level 8, the target. You're 44, and you find out exactly what the machine does to a man who embarrasses it. It cannot punish you for telling the truth, because the truth is not a crime. And saying out loud that it is would mean admitting the truth was true. So instead, it does something quieter and far more frightening. It goes looking. It puts serious, patient people in a room with one assignment. Find something. Anything. In 20 years of a complicated life, that can be called a crime. And they find it, a technicality. A single line in a law that almost no one has ever heard of. Not the torture. Never the torture. The men in the rooms will retire with full pensions and write their memoirs in the sun. They come for you over a footnote. And they dress it up so it looks exactly like justice. And the same country that called you brave 6 months ago reads a headline with your name welded to an ugly word, and quietly decides that you were probably a bad guy all along. Your lawyers sit you down and tell you the truth nobody wants to hear. You can be right and still lose. You can be completely right and go to prison while the genuinely guilty stand outside in the daylight. You're 44, learning the last and cruelest lesson of your whole career. The system does not punish the worst thing. It punishes the inconvenient one. Level 9, the prisoner. You're 48 and the door closes. And the sound that it makes is a sound you are going to hear for the rest of your life. Prison is loud and boring and humiliating all at once, and it strips a man down to the only few things he actually believes, because in here, there's nothing else left to hold on to. You lose things you can never get back. You miss the years of your kids you were supposed to be home for. Your marriage thins out across the visiting room tables week by week, until one day it simply isn't there anymore. The career is gone, the pension is gone. The certainty has been gone for a decade. And in the long, flat, endless hours, you ask yourself the only question there is left to ask. The one with no clean answer. Was it worth it? Some nights you are sure that it was. Some nights you would trade every principle you own for one ordinary evening at home that you didn't get to keep. Both of those are true too. You did the right thing and it cost you everything, and nobody ever handed you a medal. Because medals are for the good guys, and the good guys, you finally understand, are simply whoever gets to write it down afterward. Somewhere right now, a 23-year-old is raising their right hand in a room with no windows. They mean every single word. They believe there are good guys, and they believe they are about to become one. They have no idea what is coming. The summit and the line and the stone in the mouth and the door that makes that sound. They'll learn what you learned, and one of them, years from now, will stand in front of a microphone and decide that the truth is worth more than their own life, and they will do it anyway. That's the whole story. That's the only part that ever mattered.